Hello and good evening and very warm welcome to a special program called Cricit Predicta, only on NewsX, powered by NewsX. In the clash between Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore at the Wankhede Stadium, anticipation runs high as both teams seek to turn their fortunes around the IPL 2024 season. Mumbai Indians, after a sluggish start, still sluggish, managed to secure a much-needed victory against Delhi Capitals, breaking the streak of 3 consecutive defeats. What are we talking? There were consecutive victories, and here we are talking about 3 consecutive defeats. Meanwhile, Royal Challengers Bangalore, with only 1 win in 5 matches, find themselves languishing at the bottom of the points table as they square off. Both teams are eager to seize the opportunity to climb the rankings and reinvigorate their campaign. I'm sure ChatGPT is used for this read. With Mumbai Indians leading the head-to-head record against Royal Challengers Bangalore, having secured victory in 18 of the 32 encounters, the stakes are high for both sides. However, recent history favors RCB, who have emerged victorious in 4 out of their last 5 matches against Mumbai. With the backdrop of their past battles and the urgency to improve their standings, the stage is set for riveting contest between these 2 IPL giants. Well, Terry Blake, former commercial director of English Cricket Board, Stanley Chiozza, the former Zimbabwean cricketer, now the coach, Paul Dinette, our ever-smiling Aussie friend from Australia, Sadanand Vishwanath, the Golden Glove man, and David Brooks, our content editor and former cricket director for Channel 4 UK. It's an important day here. Let me start off with the man with the golden gloves. Sir, Sadanand Vishwanath, how lonely is it to be at the bottom of the table as a Bangalore fan? Just throw some facts to cheer us up.
A riveting contest, like you rightly said, and what will really gladden our hearts is the stats that we spoke about. In the previous 5 encounters with the Mumbai Indians,
yes,
RCB have been able to pull off 4 amazing victories.
Yes.
And today, even if Virat Kohli does not get runs, I still expect the other big guns, the other batters up front, like Faf and the other boys. I'm sure they will come to the contest, and this is going to be a high-scoring game. And hopefully, RCB can gladden the hearts of all their millions of fans all over the world.
Well, that's one interesting point you said. I'm going to move on to another RCB fan here in the house, David Brooks, the honorary Virat Kohli fan club president from London. Please go on. Defend your team, defend the man, defend the position, and defend the way that these guys have been playing at the bottom of the table.
Well, I shouldn't have to defend Virat Kohli after his record. I mean, he's already got 250s, 100. He's wearing the cap, the orange cap. You know, he's, 316 runs in 5 games. So,
right.
But he can't win games on his own, as we've been saying. And I was struck when I was on with Mr. Raj Kumar, you know, who's got his ear to the ground, Virat's former coach, you know, how disappointed he was with RCB's performance. He said he couldn't see where the next win was going to come from, and that RCB couldn't win it on their own. RCB couldn't win with Kohli on his own. Yes, the failure of Maxwell and Green, you know, Green batting at 5. Maybe last time when he had a good IPL last year, he batted at 3.
Yes.
For the opposing team today, of course. Maybe they could make that change today. There's talk about, you know, maybe Will Jacks, the England Surrey player coming in. That might help improve, but it's the bowling that's the problem, isn't it? So I don't need to defend Virat Kohli. People talk about his strike rate. It's been perfectly fine because that's his role through the side, but there needs to be more happening at the other end. And the weaknesses in the middle overs getting bogged down against the spin. And, Mumbai Indians have got a couple of decent spinners, haven't they?
Stanley Chiozza, I'm going to come to you. Well, they say all is well in the Bangalore club. Not so the case. Virat Kohli, yes, he certainly has the orange cap with 316 runs, 5 innings, average 105, strike rate of 146. That's all right. But when you look at Faf du Plessis, number 2, 109, Dinesh Karthik, your pinch hitter is at number 3. At number 4 is Anuj Rawat, another wicket keeper who has no consequential inning. But look at the number 2, 3, 4, Faf du Plessis. What's wrong? I mean, you have one player with 316 runs and then everybody is minus 100. I mean, do you think you can defend a team with this kind of abysmal batting performance? Your views.
Well, it's difficult. Sorry, I kind of missed the other half of the question due to the internet here. But it's hard. I mean, especially on this Wankhede venue, where I think spin will play a very important part tactically, especially if Mumbai are going to try and make headway into the RCB batting lineup. I mean, only 2 batsmen, Patida and Virat Kohli, have a decent strike rate above 110 mark versus spin. And it's an issue that RCB has had at scoring at over just in fact, they've actually got the worst strike rate for spin at 125 in the middle period. So it's difficult. So once again, it just means that someone like a Virat Kohli is going to have to play that anchor role. And when you play an anchor role, it becomes difficult to be explosive. And when it becomes difficult to be explosive, you're generally going to have a low strike rate. But you're thinking about the team. And I think sometimes at this moment in time, if RCB is going to go well, Virat Kohli has just got to stop playing for the team. He's got to have to play for himself as well and get that strike rate up there. But like what the other pundits have been saying, Virat Kohli cannot do it alone. And it's a bit of a scare in that when someone like Faf du Plessis and Glenn Maxwell does not make runs, it becomes difficult. Any bowling unit can make inroads into a batting lineup that's not making runs.
Very interesting point. Well, yes,
He never plays for himself. Virat Kohli is a total team man. He always plays for the team. And that's why I've been a huge fan of Virat Kohli right from his formative years. In fact, Rajkumar Sharma and me, when we were doing the coaching course at the NCA, I remember telling Rajkumar, and Virat Kohli was only 17 then. And I went on record and I told Virat Kohli's coach, Rajkumar Sharma, the Dronacharya Award winner, I said, Rajkumar, you've got a world champion in your ranks. You've got a world champ as a student. And Virat Kohli made all our dreams come true.
Absolutely.
So I think Virat Kohli, in his 16th season, he's wearing his heart on his sleeve. And I'm sure that he'll go all out today to ensure an RCB victory. Improbable as it might sound, but right. Glenn Maxwell is playing a lot of premeditated shots. You can see him get into a baseball position sometimes. He's expecting the short ball. Yeah, really. If you want to have a free Maxwell and see Maxwell score the maximum number of sixes once again and repeat that World Cup amazing knock he played against Afghanistan, then Maxwell should not premeditate his shots.
Absolutely.
Let's see Maxwell. See Maxwell this evening.
Sadanan, we have an Aussie to defend Glenn Maxwell in the studio, who's just, I think, come back from his plastic surgery, and he looks completely changed man altogether. Paul Dinette, go on. Come on, defend Glenn Maxwell.
I just had a haircut and a shave. Look, I think that Glenn Maxwell's been the leading bowler for RCB. You can't expect him to get runs as well. But
we haven't picked him for bowling.
I know, and they haven't bowled him enough. I hope he gets a few more overs today. To David's point that Will Jacks could be put into the side, there's even rumours it could be at the expense of Glenn Maxwell. I hope that's not the case. But I agree that Maxwell should not be premeditating shots early in his innings. I've said it many times. They should say to him, your first 10, 15 balls, it's quite acceptable to be 10 off 10 or 15 off 15. Once he gets through that early hump, that's when he becomes devastating. And I am his biggest fan. But he has had patches throughout his career where he has a series of low scores. And I sometimes think he is so absurdly talented that he sees the ball coming and thinks he can do 5 different things to it. Just put your talent to one side, get yourself in, and then express yourself. And I'm backing him to do it tonight, surely.
So I'm sure you're backing him to do it tonight. Terry Blake, we have another ECB, English Cricket Director, former English Cricket Board Director. Terry, just give your thoughts. When you pick up a player for something else and he ends up doing completely opposite for what he was picked up, how do you react if you're a team owner or if you're part of the management? Glenn Maxwell we're talking about. He was chosen as the batter who was a finisher, and suddenly he find himself as number 2 bowler for RCB. And that too indefensible, when Pot Paul says. Go on, your views.
Well, you can't complain if a star batter bowls very well as well. He's bowled very well indeed. And I think Cameron Green might be the person, just to pick on another Australian, who could make way for Will Jacks, possibly. Cameron Green was very good last year for the Mumbai Indians, hasn't fired at all this year. If you want to get an extra spinner in and someone who can bat, then Will Jacks could be the man. No, I think I agree with Paul. Maxwell is a fine player, just needs to settle a little bit. A bit like Ollie Pope in the England Test side. Just settle for 10 balls and then off you go.
Well, very interesting point you made. Well, David Brooks, what's this entire cacophony and lot chattering against the Aussie players? What is it that gets the world united against the Australian cricketers? Tell us. Just spill the beans.
Well, they won everything for such a long time that it's just nice when they underperform, because it gives us a bit of fun. I mean, let's pick on Ricky Ponting if you like. You know, he's under pressure as well as coach of Delhi. But you have to say that it's time for Maxwell or Green. One of them has to do something today. We've said before that when you pick all your overseas players as batsmen, you know, they've got to come off. Otherwise, it leaves a big hole, and Patidar certainly isn't filling it, is he? So one of them's got to come off today. Of course, in the opposition, in the Mumbai Indians, we have the number 1 bowler, Jasprit Bumrah, who's so far and away best bowler in this Mumbai Indians side. It's a question of when exactly you do bowl him. But those stats, looking at his figures his economy rate compared to every other bowler, the Mumbai Indians are just still capable of getting anyone out at any time. So it's not going to be easy for Maxwell or Green to come to the party today because they've got Bumrah to contend with if the spinners don't do the work.
Well, absolutely. We've got Bumrah here. We'll look at the matchups between Bumrah and Virat Kohli. Very interesting fact. Since 2013, Bumrah has managed to bowl Virat Kohli in all the occasions, barring 2 editions where Bumrah didn't play. And he scored 140 runs in 92 deliveries. And Bumrah has just managed to get Virat Kohli out on 4 occasions. Well, the dot balls have been 33, and Virat Kohli has scored with an average of 35. More importantly, the strike rate is 152. 15 fours and 5 sixes. My question to Sadanand Vishwanath is that if Bumrah is so good as a bowler, but he still hasn't managed to get out Virat Kohli more than 4 occasions in the last 10 years of them contesting against each other. Do you think that's a cause of concern for Mumbai Indians, considering that they haven't won many matches in the last 5 occasions, their head-to-head records? Do you think that's a problem?
Certainly. It's a valid point you're making. A clash of 2 titans, a great bowler, match up against a great striker of the ball, Virat Kohli.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think Virat Kohli will, go hammer and will start going hammer and tong straight away with Bumrah. He will try to see the new ball off. He will try to take the shine off the ball. And remember, they have to play percentage too. And Virat likes to play the sheet anchor role. He likes to be the nucleus, like I've been mentioning earlier. So I would say that, even today, Virat will be very careful playing Bumrah initially. Like Terry and Paul said about Maxwell, play the first 10, 15 balls easily, even if it's a one-runner ball, it's fine. And then you can shift gear and then just increase your momentum and increase your strike rate. And I think that will be Virat Kohli's game plan today.
Well, let's see that. I'm going to get in Stanley Chiodza. Stanley, let's see if your internet connection is better than Mohammad Siraj's bowling figures in this session. Because Mohammad Siraj has bowled against Rohit Sharma in the last 6 years, and he hasn't even managed to get him out even once. He's given 68 runs, 52 deliveries, 25 dot balls, and he's been hit 7 fours and 3 sixes. But at the same time, he hasn't managed to get him out. What's going wrong with Siraj? All of a sudden, big hype, big hoopla, and suddenly in T20, do you think it's a cause of concern if you were the coach of RCB? Because Andy Flower is.
Well, look, for Mohammad Siraj, you've got to feel for him because he's pretty much been asked to lead the pack for quite a number of IPL years now. So, I mean, we can judge him as an individual, but in the long run and the bigger pictures, we can't just judge Mohammad Siraj alone because he can't take all wickets. You've got to judge the bowling as a unit. Okay, now, we've often talked about this in this show to say, does the RCB have a bowling unit worthy of this tournament? And true to form, they don't. And so looking at Mohammad Siraj alone, I think it'll be a bit unfair. You'll get matchups, yes, 58, 68 runs or 52 balls, but he's also got Ishan Kishan, a very good batsman, 50 runs or 40 balls and 2 wickets. You've got Yadav as well, Surya Kumar Yadav, a very important batsman for the Mumbai Indians who's just making his return, 61 runs of 27 for 1 wicket. 225 is his strike rate against Mohammad Siraj. So if you want to put that bowling attack away, you definitely need to target Mohammad Siraj. Once you target Mohammad Siraj, you score off Mohammad Siraj, you're going to cause problems for RCB.
Well, you've spoken something which the team have been talking very much, and you find Yash Dayal with 5 wickets, an economy of 8.31, strike rate of 22. He's leading the pack with just 5 wickets. At number 2 in the bowling, and Paul, this is for you. Glenn Maxwell, 4 wickets, 3 innings, economy rate of 7.37. So Mohammad Siraj is below Glenn Maxwell, and he's with 4 wickets, and he's got worse strike rate, as I keep on saying, worse than Stanley Chiozza's internet connection in Harare Sports Club. And even Rick Topley has 3 wickets. So how do you deal with this situation? This is Paul Dinette. How do you deal with this situation where you have one of the best batsmen as your number 2 bowlers and your best bowler is languishing at the bottom 5?
Well, I think it just shows that RCB have had a really poor start to the season. This is the night to turn it around. It's not going to be easy because the Mumbai side is really starting to look very, very good. I know that Sky got a duck in his first game back, but I don't think that's going to last too long. They just need... we talk about their batting a lot, that it's only Kohli that's been performing so far, but you're right, that the bowling has looked pretty ordinary as well. So, I mean, Mohammad Siraj is a fantastic bowler. Reece Topley's a really good T20 bowler as well. Cameron Green is an interesting one if he does play. I also don't like the way that he is often used. Seems to be for Australia and also for RCB, where he's encouraged to bang the ball in. Yes. I wish he'd be bowling much more like a Glenn McGrath style, old-fashioned, hit the top of off stump. But I hope that RCB can do something tonight, but I fear that Mumbai are going to be too strong.
Well, let's shift our focus onto the spinners. Sutherland Vishwanath, you are a big advocate of spinners. Spinners have historically had an economy rate of 7.82 at the Wankhede Stadium, with 109 wickets taken in the middle overs from 7 to 16 at an economy of 7.76. And RCB has struggled against spinners in IPL 2024. Scoring at a slower rate in the middle overs. Do you think that is the secret Achilles heel of RCB? First is letting go of their best spinner, Yuzvendra Chahal, and second is not knowing what's happening. It's like, deer crossing the road and suddenly hit with the flash bulb, Doesn't know where to do. Run or stay back on the highway. Your views?
Well, bowlers do hunt in pairs. They hunt as a pack. It has to be a unit, like Stanley rightly said. And yes, they miss Hathura Singh, the Sri Lankan mystery spinner, along with Chahal. They miss them a lot. And RCB haven't really invested wisely in the spin department. So I would like to see Vaishak Vijay Kumar get included in the team once again and bowl with the new ball. We're looking for some inroads. We're looking for some penetration with the new ball. And that's when the spinners come into play. That's when the spinners put the brakes on. And then the economy and the strike rate of the opponents, drastically fall down. So yes, spin can be the winning key for the RCB today. But who are they going to trust? They only have Maxwell and another new boy whom they're trying to play against. So there's no big mystery spinner with the RCB team. That's the problem.
Right. Terry Blake, before I go to David Brooks in the next question with some stats about the match, toss, pitch report, I'm going to ask you a very pertinent question in the commercial context. When you have so much money to offer and you bring in those marquee players and they suddenly refuse to perform or lift their games, I mean, how do you react as the owner or the management of the team? I mean, those must be a painful decision and must be a painful few days for the management guys who bring up their hand and buy them at expensive auctions.
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing, and they perhaps will even question their own judgment. But a little bit like trying to predict scores in these IPL matches, it isn't always easy to have a hunch on a player and it goes well. I mean, let's take today again.
Yes.
Like yesterday, Rashid Khan came to the party and upset the odds. All four of us on the panel yesterday suggested it would go the other way. Rashid Khan came to the party with ball and then bat as well at the end. Today, Glenn Maxwell might score 100 off 50 balls and will turn the match. So I think it's a little early for the owners to start hanging their heads in shame. But it would be a concern if more than one of your marquee players doesn't perform. But that's why RCB are in ninth position. The other thing I'd just like to mention is Virat Kohli is a god. There's no question about it. But I'm not sure when Sazinan talked about a sheet anchor role, I'm not sure you can bat at 150 from the top of the order and then potentially lose a game. I think if you're in for the whole innings, you have to really go ballistic towards the end and drag your rate up a little bit. Having said that, Kohli is still their best player, obviously, and a lot will depend on him today.
Absolutely. A lot will depend on Kohli, but also Rohit Sharma, who's leading the pack. When you look at the highest individual knocks, you have AB de Villiers at 133 in 59 deliveries, Ishan Kishan 99 runs in 58 deliveries, Rohit Sharma 94 in 52, Chris Gayle 92 in 58, and Virat Kohli at 92 in 62 deliveries. Now, we come to the end of the discussion, and very quickly, 10 seconds. David Brooks, who's your favorite team today? Why? And the impact player. That should be easy.
I'm 5 out of 5 in my last 5
Yes.
predictions. I wasn't here yesterday, so I wasn't didn't get a chance to get it wrong. I'm going for Mumbai Indians today. It's an obvious choice. They are the favourites. The way that they turned around their fortunes in the last match, they all seem to have the momentum now.
Impact player.
I'll go for Tim David or Romario Shepherd, one of those two, again, to do well in the middle order.
Lovely. Stanley Chiozza, impact player, team, and why?
Look, I'll back the RCB today. I think they're due a win, and I think if they can get their mojo right, if they can get their formation right, I think they can get the surprise win. I'm going for Cameron Green today. I mean, he seems to have found a way of scoring runs at the Wankhede, 229 runs. If he gets into form, well, who knows?
Who knows? Yes. But I hope you know about your prediction. They've been odd and even. You still haven't got it 100% like David Brooks. Another person who's missed out on his prediction is the legendary Paul Dennett, the man with the new look. Sadanan, I'm going to come to you. Yeah, Paul, go on.
Mumbai Indians is my tip. Surya Kumar Yadav to be the star. And I just think they've just got too much hitting power. In addition to Yadav, Tilak Varma, Tim David, Romario Shepherd, I haven't even mentioned half of their lineup. They're just too powerful. But I hope I'm wrong. I really want RCB to claw off the bottom of the table.
Well, so what's the choice? Is it Mumbai Indians or RCB?
Mumbai Indians. Put me down for Mumbai. Mumbai.
Let us also forward your hashtag and your handlebar if you get this wrong this time. Terry Blake, over to you. What's your impact team? Why? And who's going to win today?
Well, I'm not doing very well on the predictions, but I'm going to go with Stanley. I'm going to go with RCB, and I'm going to go with Glenn Maxwell to come good and cause an upset.
Wow. And an Englishman rooting for an Aussie. Great. Sadanand Vishwanath, closing remarks. You are an IPL fan, but you're more of a Bengaluru boys club fan. What's wrong? How do we resurrect this situation? And what's your prediction for the match today?
You remember Virat Kohli scored a splendid century in the World Cup semi-finals. He loves the Wankhede Stadium.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with RCB, and my impact player, my player of the match, the one and only Virat Kohli. Incredible Kohli. King Kohli.
It's turning out to be a Virat Kohli fan club discussion, but I can assure that's not the case. We still have voices, shrill voices against Kohli's batting lineup, his approach, but that's what the show is made up of.
Let me quickly come over here, because A.B. de Villiers recently, he made a remark, he made a statement saying that allow Virat Kohli to play for as long as he can, because he has to play the sheet anchor role. Imagine if Virat Kohli had not scored at all in all these 5 games, then where would we stand? So RCB depends heavily on Virat Kohli, and I kept mentioning the proton, the neutron, and electron. These are the other batters who have to revolve around the nucleus, that is Virat Kohli.
Well, that's what we had time for. That was Sadanand Vishwanath, who's just borrowed the script from David Brooks on Virat Kohli. Well, let us assure you, this is not a Virat Kohli fan show. This is a very critical analysis of stats, views, previews, and that's what makes this Cricit Predicta a special program. Keep watching NewsX.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.